Hello everybody, I am back here at my bobcat set that I recorded reset, and apparently I had the other bobcat pretty soon after I left that day. And what happened, I didn't get it on video because I had the reveal set, the camera set for a maximum of 10 pictures a day. So you know, when you catch something, it doesn't sit there and take 500 pictures, you know, and before you can get to the trap of the every little movement the animal makes. But so catching that bobcat exhausted that 10 pictures that day, and so reset the set, and then it was going to be another 24 hours, and then lo and behold, the next day I noticed that the trap, you know, from the check-in picture it done, was laying about 3 foot from the set. So I'm assuming it was the other bobcat coming in there to see what happened to the one I caught or whatever. But I think I know where I messed up on it. I believe I did not give it enough chain. I had to chain the little system that I've been working with. I had it chain too tight on it. I see some flaws, like little tweaks I got to do to it. But you know, the nature of a bobcat when it gets caught is to, anybody's ever seen a house cat that, you know, somebody puts a cucumber behind it or something, or broom falls and they jump straight up in the air like popcorn. Well, bobcat does the same thing supposedly, other than, you know, a coyote maybe just jump a foot or two off the ground. Well, they say that you know, bobcats jump, you know, they jump like 10 feet in the air when they get caught. So before that trap gets time to set on their feet, they have yanked out, popping up like that. And I believe this one, with having no slack in the chain, caused it to come loose like that. And so I'm in here, I've been scouting different spots because of the snow we have, and I have found another area I've been trying to catch bobcats in. I have found more information just finding tracks and trailing the tracks in this snow than it would have took me 5 years to have found out all that information. I mean, I found a rock that they've been rubbing on. I actually found a bobcat den. I found a bobcat kill. It was a full-grown deer, covered up, heaped up with leaves, and there's several different size bobcat tracks coming in from different directions to feed on this thing. So I set one of my cameras up on it, and you know, going to see what all's coming in there before I set traps, and maybe let them create you know, some more trails. I don't know. I pretty much know where I need to put them, and even found where they're going through a fence, and to get to it should be a good spot to catch one in a snare. I have yet to catch anything with a snare. I mean, somebody that is good at snaring, you can say they are sharp. So if I can find another in here, the track of that bobcat somewhere else, then I'm going to completely abandon that set and move it somewhere else, because I don't believe he's going to come back in there with being that he got caught. Plus, I'm going to attempt to set my first beaver snare. I think if anything should be easy to catch in a snare, maybe a beaver would be right on top of that list. So depending on what kind of sign I find, and you know, I don't know, I might be in here in the dark, but man, this snow that is the way to go. If it comes a good snow and you can get out there and just walk around. I found out the deer, where they're going, how they're traveling, you know, just so much information in like 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. So I hope we have maybe a couple more snows this year, so I can do this in other spots that I hunt and trap. So anyway, just as soon as I walked in, I found fresh beaver sign right there. They're coming out of the water, so I see no reason why not to put my first snare right there and see what happens. So it's like that grass kind of blocks it in, and so it just seems like ideal for a spot for a snare. Where I need to put this thing exactly, that's going to be the big guess. So I'm thinking probably coming out of these weeds is going to be the spot. Solid that is. Pretty solid. I think mostly the left and right on it, so it has to be really watched to make sure it's solid. I'm going off of can't think of his name now, but he was saying he always catches his beavers alive, and that's what I want to do, because I want to try to eat one. And I don't want to do something. Seems like killing them would be easy, especially like a conibear. But I don't want to kill them. I want them to be alive when I come here, and I know the thing is fresh when I get it. So I'm not really going to get into beaver trapping, but I am going to catch one and see how they taste. Because I've heard they're really good. I've heard they're really not so good. So if it's anything like this is razorback snares, I got an order of a dozen of them specifically, and they custom make them for whatever animal you're going after, and I got a dozen for beaver. So I'm going to anchor this thing, and these Billings, that's the guy. Billings Outdoors, Billings Trapping. He's the one talking about catching beavers alive. So that's what I'm going to try. First beaver set of anything. I got these snares camoed and coated in bulletproof route. Give it a shot. No activity at the snare, so the beaver snare. So I'm going to turn it up a notch and put some of Clint Locklear's, I believe it's called Enrager. Maybe it's Flat Tail Call. I have to check and see, but I'm gonna put a little dab of that on the bank and see if that elicits some sort of response. So beaver's supposed to have a really good sense of smell, so we'll see how they respond to that. Maybe really wish I had a camera on here just to see what was going on, if there was even, you know, beavers coming up and seeing the snare and turning away from it, or there was just not any beavers coming through here, you know. Would you look at that? My first beaver with a snare, my first anything with a snare. And I think wasn't getting any response from the snare, so I used Clint Locklear's Flat Tail Call, which smells real cinnamon type like, and looks like I caught him just perfect right around the back, right around the behind his front feet. So looks like a good sized beaver. First one ever caught, so that feels like an accomplishment. See what he done. Messed that area up pretty good. Or caught him, but I don't know if I catch another one or not. I just want to try to see what one tastes like. If it's a good source of meat, you know, if it's similar to venison or anything. I mean, they're really clean animals. So, and there's you know, here in Tennessee, no limit year-round trapping on them. So take care of him and get him to the house, see what happens. There it is, got it back at the house. I don't know if that's I mean, I think that's a big beaver. Maybe that's an average size beaver. But you can see, like, compared to my gloves laying on it, how big it is. Big to me. You know, but I want to weigh it here in just a little bit and see how much it does weigh, so anybody knows different sizes of beavers can kind of let me know, yeah, it's a big one, or no, it's pretty much about how all of them are. I'll get him out of here and then get him weighed here in just a little bit. So I am gonna give him a shot here. I got the scale goes to 50 pounds. It should be plenty enough. See here. 45 pounds. I don't know if you can see that. So I don't know. I guess that's a good sized beaver. But anyway, glad to break the seal on actually catching something with a snare. So maybe I can get used to doing that with coyotes, bobcats, everything else. It's been a challenge for me. I was like, I have watched bobcats and coyotes slip right through small, you know, the hole on the snare are very small, so I think probably beaver might be the easiest to figure them out, what's the best way to do it. But get the sucker skinned out and get the meat off the bone, and later on see what it tastes like. Thank you.